Hi guys, this is your streamer Carlos. On today's video, I'm going to give you my review of episode 13 of season one of the Big Bang Theory, the Nerd Bowl, and the fall of Darth TEX. So here we go, guys. I love this episode because it involves all four of them, like all four of our favorite nerds. It doesn't involve one nerd, just like the last one. It doesn't. This episode doesn't revolve on one nerd. To be more specific, like in episode 12, and episode 11, all around Sheldon and his craziness. But episode 13 revolves on Howard, Sheldon, Leonard, and Raj. Well, here we go, guys. In this episode, guys, the guys are they're in Leonard's and Sheldon's apartment when Howard receives a bit of nerd news that that the quartet, that a famous quartet of a scientist of the annual scientific decathlon. It's like a nerd. Yes, it's basically the Nerd Bowl for nerds in Caltech. They this quartet, dropped out for the first time ever because they got a gig of being a quartet at Knott's Berry Farm. So the guys are like, this is our year. This is our year. Penny is obviously they're in the apartment too, and she's like, so this is like your Super Bowl, and then this is like your cool zone, like, so this means that you're cool, and so it begins. But there's one problem. The leader, the so-called leader, the appointed leader of this quartet, of this wonderful nerdy quartet, is of course Sheldon. and of course Leonard Howard and Ron throw out team names, but they get denied unless they pick crazy nerdy Sheldon's team name, Army Ant, and they have to dress up like color coded like Star Trek, the original series, color codes of command. Obviously, for crazy Sheldon, he would be Commander Gold, and obviously for Howard and Raj and Leonard, they would be follow Red. But in a twist of fate, in a funny nerdy twist of fate, Leonard and basically Howard and Raj have a team meeting without their team captain, and they agree. All three of them agree. Sheldon needs to be out because the day before or that same day, earlier that same day, um, um, Penny, Leonard asked Penny if she could be the the person that asked questions. Basically, a trial run, a trial run to be the host of this practice nerd bowl, and basically to put it short and sweet, guys, Leonard or Sheldon answered all the questions. Now, now to answer to be called up to be called your name, like your team name, you obviously have a buzzer or a button that you can press and it beeps or beeps. But Leonard asked Sheldon to share the questions so that Raj, Howard, and him answer the questions. But every time that Howard, Leonard, or Sheldon would press their Howard, Leonard, and Raj would press their button to answer themselves. Crazy Sheldon would answer for them, even though he didn't press his buzzer, and that's what preceded. That's what preceded the team meeting between Leonard, Raj, and Howard, and of course. And of course, Leonard had to deliver the bad news to the team captain, and he said, Sheldon, I got you something. I got you a Batman cookie jar to soften the blow of the bad news. Oh, and by the way, you're out. You're out of the team. We discussed it. We discussed it. But Sheldon had a point. A funny point, but still a point. You couldn't have a meeting because I wasn't a part of the meeting. Therefore, you didn't have a team meeting, but we did. Leonard said to Sheldon, and you're out, and you're out, because you're making this nerd bowl opportunity for us unbearable, and you're being a total bad potato head. Then, of course, Sheldon got really, really mad in his Sheldon way and said, and he grabbed his cookie jar, Batman cookie jar, and said to Leonard, it's on, you tiny little man. Of course he didn't say that. If you guys have seen the episode, you know what he said. But I'm paraphrasing. Then the next day at Caltech, then the next day at work at Caltech, while Leonard and Raj and Howard are having lunch, Leonard is telling Howard and Rod that Sheldon is acting like a villain. He just sits and eats his cookie jar when I get home, and he sits there quiet and laughs, very a villain laugh. Then Raj has an idea to counter Sheldon's Sheldon's evilness. Why don't they try? All three of them try, and he will laugh. And Raj has a very good laugh, a very good evil laugh, but it's like a Cruella de Vil laugh. And obviously they have to pick a new teammate, a new member. And the perfect and like a nerd angel. Leslie Winkle falls like a beautiful falls from this nerd sky, and Leonard offers her the opportunity to be in on their team, but one problem. Leslie doesn't want to be a part of the team because Leonard and Leslie have a history. You know, the Sexy Beast episode. I think it was episode 5. Yes, episode 5. And ever since then, it's been awkward for Leonard mostly, more awkward for Leonard, and a normal awkward level for Leslie. But as soon as Leonard says Sheldon's name, Leslie's face and demeanor changes and says, "You're going against that howdy of a fake cowboy, of a string being of a cowboy. I'm in." And with that, guys, the Nerd Bowl teams are officially the Nerd Bowl is officially there. The Army Ants versus the new Army Ants versus PMS. The professional motion squad. And to fast forward a little bit in the episode, it's a very, 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 very intense match. But Sheldon, in the last question, in his team's final chance to beat PMS, which is Leonard and Howard and Rogers and Leslie's new team name to be crowned the Nerd Bowl champions and to get the Nerd Bowl trophy trophy. Just like before. Sheldon answered all the questions. He wouldn't let his teammates answer the questions until the last question, last chance to get ahead or to score or to defeat by points PMS. And the question was pretty pretty hard. I wouldn't be able to answer the question. But Sheldon, 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 uh, Sheldon froze and couldn't answer the question. But he asked. But he asked. But he asked. But he asked, I do not like the question. Or he said, I do not like the question to Dr. Gablehauser, who was the host of the Nerd Bowl and the questionee. And Sheldon would say a form of protest, and here's the kicker: one of his teammates, the janitor of one of the janitors of the University of Caltech, was from the University of Polytechnic of Russia. Go Polar Bears, which was the mascot of the Polytechnica, the technical school of Russia. So Sheldon's Polytechnica teammate / janitor, one of the janitors of Caltech, had the answer to the question, but Sheldon wouldn't take his teammate's answer. And Dr. Gablehauser, your teammate, Dr. Gablehauser said, your teammate's right. Your teammate's right to the question. But Sheldon said no. He's not right. And by the way, you're not supposed to be talking. So then Leonard, before Dr. Gablehauser gave the official word that PMS were the winners, Leonard said, you are willing to lose because first of all, you didn't like the question, and you don't like the question, and you prefer to lose because you didn't give the right answer, and because your teammate was trying to help your team. And then Sheldon, in a funny way, that I didn't understand. And then Leonard said, "Go ahead, Dr. Gablehauser." And with that, Dr. Gablehauser announced the winner, PMS. So with that being said, guys, PMS won. But Howard took the celebration of a good win against Darth TEX, and his innocent sidekicks, to his tyrannical ways. Howard took the celebration too far and took his PMS shirt off, and to end the episode, guys, Leonard gloated to Darth TEX, meaning Sheldon, about beating him in the physics bowl, meaning Nerd Bowl. So with that being said, guys, thank you for watching. Remember to leave a like, and until we nerd again, bye!